I'm Mahdi Shaheeb Sher. My website is www.mahdishaheebsher.com. One of my interests in the world is kind of the progress that we're developing in the world. I think that it is good to have some kind of peace and prosperity in the world for the benefit of other people. I think that there are unfortunately high levels of conflict and war and famine and food shortage and malnutrition and poverty as well. So I think unfortunately there are situations of maybe distress or depopulation, maybe circumstances of kind of discontent. And I think unfortunately most of this is due to the presence of America in the world. It seems to be a newly established country that's been around for just over 500 years, from 1492. So it's a recently established country with not much of a history or a civilization or a background. So I think because of its lack of history and civilization, we do have issues of some kind of young, maybe juvenile culture in the world. Um, what Americans like to see as youth, but I think it's more inclined towards juvenile behavior. And I think with this youth or juvenile behavior, we have instances of a higher level of war and conflict, famine and disease. If you compare the modern period that we live in today, 2025, with America pretty much dominant in the world, then you can see that there is actually more war, conflict, famine, and disease than maybe in most other periods of world history. And that's primarily because if you look at America, the country, and if you look at it in terms of its people and population, it could be the most aggressive, but most importantly, the most violent people, most violent country in world history. So I think because of that reason, we do have an issue of famine, conflict, disease, and starvation. And I think we have to have some kind of a peaceful approach to things, some kind of reconciling and appeasement. We have to have some kind of reconciliation. And I think with this, we have to kind of overlook the negative influences of America, Russia as well. I think Russia is also very violent and very aggressive like America. I think they're like similar countries. They could be twins in characteristics and also similar in terms of former superpowers in the world. They're roughly about the same size, they behave the same way. It's the USA and the USSR, kind of like the left arm and the right arm in the world. I think with these countries, they have unfortunately created a high precedence of violence, maybe antagonism and aggression in the world. But I think it's this introduction of violence which is very concerning for the modern period. I think we have to kind of bypass these two countries, America and Russia, and start afresh with maybe a worldview that might not necessarily consist of Russia or America. I think if we look at the world as a whole, without looking at one particular country, in one particular country in particular, then we can be more organic and whole with the world and maybe achieve more of a balanced world that can overcome the violence that we have in the world. And I think that could be a positive vision for the future. And I think that could be very positive. Thank you very much.